Tom Landry, Don Shula, Andy Reid, Bobby Bowden, Tom Osborne, Ryan Day. Fill in the blank in regards to what those names mean in the history of pro and college football. And I will let you know at the end of the video. Welcome into the Voice of College Football. Appreciate you stopping by for the best in discussion, debate, and analysis. And here we go. Ohio State prediction video for 2025. Of course, this is the national championship program. They suffered losses in the regular season. They looked dead going into the playoff, and they played up to their ability finally in December and January, and were clearly the best team in college football. Now, after going on that mission, guys like Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, Emeka Buka, Lathan Ransom, and others coming back when they could have gone to the NFL, coming back to Ohio State for one last run at a championship and completing the mission. This program, in a sense, starts over, but they start over in a good spot, not where just about everybody else in college football starts out. They are loaded with 4 and 5 stars and may actually come back with the 2 best players in college football. So the cupboard is not bare. The experience is the issue, starting at quarterback, of course, where we've got Julian Sayin, the transfer from Alabama, taking over at quarterback. It's still a competition. Technically, Lincoln Kienholz is in the running, but you got to think, after not being able to secure the starting position for 3 years in Columbus, that Julian Sayin is the guy. Now, he falls in line with guys like Justin Fields and C.J. Stroud, J.T. Barrett, Braxton Miller, and others who accomplished great things at Ohio State without having experience. So this is a big question on this football team. In addition to Sayin's ability to make the right reads, the right decisions, and play poised under pressure and get the ball to playmakers, his leadership capabilities, and the void of leadership outside of guys like Caleb Downs, most of the leadership is off to the NFL. This was a very senior, junior-laden team, and we'll see how they respond with the pressure. Although maybe the pressure is off of Ryan Day and he can calm down and deliver another championship to Ohio State, because this team certainly has the talent to do it, although most people are a bit gun-shy to pick this team to repeat because of the inexperience at quarterback, but we see like situations at Alabama, Michigan, Oregon, and others. There is no questioning the wide receiver room, led by what is most likely the best wide receiver in the sport, Jeremiah Smith. He is the prototypical just NFL body, size, skill, and he works hard on top of it. 76 catches, 15 touchdowns, and when Ohio State needed a play to close out the national championship game, 3rd and 1, they go up top to Jeremiah Smith, and he delivers. Carnell Tate would be the number 1 wide receiver for most teams in the country. He's number 2 at Ohio State. Brandon Inniss, an emerging star. Mylan Graham will have an opportunity to make big plays in this offense, and Ohio State adds one of the best tight ends in the country in Max Clare, caught 51 passes at Purdue last season. I think the running back situation should be of concern to Ohio State fans. The best duo in the country, arguably, Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson, gone, replaced by one serviceable back that is proven in C.J. Donaldson, West Virginia. Also James Peoples, who has yet to deliver at Ohio State, obviously behind those two. 197 yards, 2 touchdowns. Donaldson ran for over 2,000 yards and 30 touchdowns at West Virginia. But again, I think a significant downgrade in the backfield. But the Buckeyes have depth in regards to talent, but not the experience or the high-end proven players yet. The offensive line is the reason Ohio State claimed a national championship last year. It was a weakness midway through the season. It's been the relative weakness on this football team for the last 5 years plus, for the most part. And they really pulled through after some significant injuries to their best players. It was amazing what the offensive line did going down the stretch. 4 starters back. Ethan Onianwa comes in from Rice. And these, again, were really the unsung heroes last season. Guys like Carson Hinsman, Tegra Shabola, Luke Montgomery, Austin Sierravold proved to be big-time players in the clutch and moved tremendous. Best defensive lines in the country: Tennessee, Notre Dame, Penn State. those groups, Texas, out of the way when needed. Now let's check out the Buckeye defense, probably the best in college football, certainly down the stretch in terms of what they did against the likes of Notre Dame, 23 points, Texas, 14 points. We saw the outing against Oregon, big goose egg until late in the first half. But these guys are mostly gone, of course, from last season. The entire defensive line gone. But a lot of meaningful experience steps in. These guys were key role players, talking about Caden Curry, Edric Houston, Kenyatta Jackson, Cade McDonald. They played significant snaps in key situations, total 57 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 4 sacks. They will have to make more plays. And talking about making plays, how about Bo Atkinson from North Carolina, 12 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks. However, his stats slightly inflated against the weaker teams on North Carolina's schedule, but he's going to have to provide the pass rush, and that's the concern for Ohio State, a pass rush decline this year. At linebacker, we're talking about 2 of the best in the sports. Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese. Styles, 100 tackles last season. And not that this statement has not been uttered several times in the last 10 or 15 years, but Ohio State boasts what could be the best cornerback combination in college football with the emerging Jermaine Matthews and the ever-physical Davison Igbinosun, a little handsy for my taste, led the nation in penalties. Got to clean that up if he wants to prepare himself for the NFL and not cost Ohio State in key situations. A bit handsy. I think he's a bit overrated. Good cornerback. I will have to see whether this is the best tandem. And keep in mind, based on everything that we've just stated, these are the frontline players, of course, as is the preview style that we have presented here. There are waves of 4 and 5 stars that we could talk about that are ready to jump in and make an impact. The guy that will make an impact, it's almost a certainty, is Caleb Downs, one of the best safeties, best players in college football, 82 tackles. He's joined by Malik Hartford in the secondary. Now it's on to the schedule analysis, Ohio State 2025, and the key significant difference comparing to last season. Obviously, Ohio State played no one non-conference, no one, 0, 3 scrimmage games. We got this team coming in, Texas, in week 1. They might have revenge on their minds, although a lot of those guys moved on to the NFL. That was a hard-fought game in Dallas last year, and Texas might have been the second best team in college football. Came up short, a yard away from tying the game. Again, I usually don't count revenge as being much of a factor, but for the Buckeyes here, this is going to be a tough team to tangle with a slightly more experienced quarterback. Arch Manning not playing the big snaps or making the big throws, of course, and backing up Quinn Ewers, but he did play in the big games, unlike Julian Sayin. So the Buckeyes, this would be a monumental win for them to defeat Texas, just about everyone's number 1 team in the country, going into week 1. Now, past that, wow, the schedule is tough because consider, although no Oregon, USC, or Iowa, these 2 dates on the road in October could be tricky. At Washington, difficult place to play. At Illinois as well. Then the 2 November games, Penn State at home, what is considered to be the best team on paper in the Big Ten, considering experience as well. Then we've got, of course, the big showdown against Michigan. Ryan Day trying to win for the first time against Michigan since 2019. You know, when you add this up, if you really look at the 4 big games as I outline them there, Illinois, Washington, because they're on the road, and then Penn State and Michigan, if Ohio State splits those 2 and loses to Texas, that's a key game because 10-2, 9-3, that's the cutoff point most likely, unless you can really prove that a 9-3 team playing some of the best teams in the country, and that could turn out to be a situation for Ohio State. I'm extremely close to calling a 9-3 season for Ohio State here. I will have to make adjustments elsewhere in the Big Ten, but I just think this team is too incredibly talented. I believe they can still make a national championship run because what they're going to be in November is going to be significantly different if coached well and developed than what they are in September. Lose to Texas, lose 1 Big Ten game. It's a 10-2 team, and I'm going to have to adjust elsewhere in the Big Ten Probably Washington's 9-3 becomes 8-4 and 5-4 in the Big Ten because of a Buckeyes win in Seattle. All right. Again, the Buckeyes make the playoffs at 10-2. This leads us to the big 2025 Voice of College Football schedule breakdown. Big live stream planned for early in the week of week 0, I believe, where we're going to break down. We're going to go through every week of the entire season, map it out, start to finish with you, and mark off the wins and the losses and just keep the total, keep track of everyone, go through the season, and then we'll see how it plays out. Our predictions for right now, the Buckeyes at 10-2. Again, one loss in the Big Ten. We will see you soon right here at the Voice of College Football. Ohio State Live is every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Keep that in mind. Yes, we almost forgot, but not quite. Tom Landry, Andy Reid, Don Shula, 3 of the NFL greats of all time. Tom Osborne, Bobby Bowden, legends at the collegiate level. What was said about all of them? They can't win the big one. They did, and then they accomplished it multiple times. Ryan Day, add him to the list. Right here at the Voice of College Football. See you next time.